Picture yourself in a steaming kitchen surrounded by family. Your mom, aunties, and abuela are assembling the tamales, and the men drinking cerveza in the living room stay out of the way of the tamale making process. There's a huge pot of masa on the stove, and the savory pork cooks in the red chili sauce. The aroma wafting in the air reminds you of the precious memories tied to this smell. With your mom, you open the softened plantain leaf, scoop the masa onto the leaf, put a piece of pork and a spoonful of sauce into the center of the masa, tie up the plantain with string, and drop it into the third pot for the final cooking. This is what my Christmas Eve looks like every year. For my family tradition, I will talk about how my family makes tamales every year for Noche Buena and why this tradition is so important to me. Every year, my mom's family gathers together to celebrate Christmas Eve, or in Spanish, Noche Buena. The highlight of this day is preparing tamales as a family for dinner. My mom's family is from Guatemala, so every year we travel there to stay with my abuelos in a small town called Antigua with the rest of my family. To prepare for this tamalada, which is a party that brings together friends and family to assemble tamales, my mom and I always go to the mine market to pick out the best ingredients. We need masa, which is the corn flour used to make the tamale dough, chilies, pork, achiote powder, plantain leaves, and the rest of the ingredients. After everything has been cooked, we form a production line to make as many tamales as possible. After years of watching my mom, and more recently, being able to help her out myself in the kitchen, together we've got this process down. This day is centered around three things I value the most: familial connections, love, and food, but not necessarily in that order. Getting together with my family in the country where we're from and connecting with them to prepare this feast is what makes this tradition so important to me. Although I've never lived in Guatemala, I am only first-generation American, so I still feel a strong connection to my Guatemalan heritage. And I try to embrace every aspect of my life that makes me Guatemalan. One of those is going back to visit my abuelos every year for Christmas. This tradition is important to me because it's less about getting excited for Christmas and presents and more about spending time with the family I rarely get to see. It's especially important to me now that my abuela has passed away because it gives me something to remind myself of her. In conclusion, my family tradition of making tamales every year for Christmas Eve is important to me because it represents a time of socializing with my family, reconnecting with those who I haven't seen in a year, and celebrating my heritage. And although this is a long time away, I hope to continue this tradition in the future with my own family. Thank you for listening to my speech about my family tradition.